Hello and welcome to the video for Thursday, July the 23rd. This is going to be a video for our upcoming 6th graders. On Monday we were talking about different things with solving equations, and I mentioned that we would have a follow-up video working with inequalities. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of this stuff. So there are going to be different things that they ask you to do, one of which is going to be to identify whether a specific value for a variable would work. So if we are saying that y has to be less than 7.8 and we give a value of y which is equal to 8, would that work? Think about that for a second. No, it will not. This number is going to be too big, so this would end up not working out. For our next one, we are going to have examples where they ask you to give one or two numbers that would end up being a correct answer for this. So if I start with this one down here, we want numbers that are greater than or equal to 5 8/10. So we could actually just use 5 8/10 for one of them. And then we could go ahead and separate that with a comma. And then we could say our other number could be 20 because the number 20 would be greater than or equal to 5 8/10. For this one up here, we're saying that the value of f is equal to, or sorry, less than or equal to -5. So we're looking for -5 or numbers that are less than that. So we could say -6 and -7 would be answers for that. We are also going to see these in word form, and they may ask you to give an example of an inequality in word form that is written like something up here. So for this one, a passenger's age, which is listed as A for the variable, must be more than 4 years. So we would say A is greater than 4. And then the last thing that we'll ask you to do with variables for right now is to go ahead and, inequalities, is going to give the answers as a graph. And so a line graph ends up working out really well for this. And so we can say that B is going to be less than or equal to 5/8. There are two different ways that we can represent this. If we fill in the circle, then we're saying that we're doing that thing included. So if we have or equal to, we would fill in the bubble or circle. We leave it open if we are not including that value. So I would go to 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. I would fill in the circle, and then I would go ahead and draw a ray going this way. So I would, or line segment going this way. And so for number 8, I would go ahead and say that we are not including this value. So we would say, I'm just going to pick X for both of these because they don't give a letter. X is going to be less than 6. And so all of my little values that could be represented in between here using fractions or decimals all would meet the requirements of being less than 6. So that's why we would fill everything in here. For this one, we are going to include -7. And so we can say X is greater than or equal to -7. So that wraps up everything for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I think the Google Classroom link still works, so you can have your parents send me an email. I think once we get the idea of what we're working with here, it ends up being a pretty simple concept, but I wanted to go ahead and introduce it to you now before we get into the school year. Hope your summer is going well. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be on Monday.